welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got why Will Johnson was a super still pick for the Cardinals. Let's check this out.
When it comes to talking about players whose draft
really
stock
fell to the second round.
Everyone likes to bring up.
I've been waiting to do a
Sanders,
vid on Will
but in my
Johnson
opinion,
for a long
it was
time,
almost
too.
as shocking to see Will Johnson fall to the second round as it was to see Shedeur fall to the fourth. Honestly, I was not shocked to see Shedeur fall, but many were shocked to see Will Johnson fall. Going back in time, he was the son of a Michigan football legend, was one of the highest ranked recruits in school history.
I'll say this:
was at one point ranked the
easily the best cornerback in his draft class. Yes, I'm taking him over Trav any day of the week. Like Trav, he got great ball skills. You know what I'm saying? It's great in coverage, but this nigga right here is a pure technician. Everything, his technique, his ball skills. He's gonna take a pick back to the crib, bro. That's what his specialty is. You know what I'm saying? Like his technique is just phenomenal. Now, what is he gonna be a great man press corner in the NFL? I don't know because of how short his arms are, but hey, I think he gonna fit right in, bro. I think he still might be a man press corner in the NFL. You know, but there are some questions about his long speed, which I don't think that's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? He's just a lockdown technician, bro. You know what I'm saying?
College football, and looked like the
it's crazy that the Cardinals got him. They needed corner,
but instead
they picked up two dogs with him and Denzel Burke.
This leads me to believe that he was the biggest steal in the 2025 NFL draft. And in today's video, we're going to talk about his insane journey. How did Will Johnson become a 5-star recruit? How did he become a prodigy? And why is he such a steal?
Lockdown.
But before we get started,
and he got swag too.
College football, be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you want to support today's video, and let me know what player, team, topic, or situation I can cover next.
And bro, rocking zero.
We'll talk about the insane rise of Will Johnson.
I ain't glad that's gonna
in
be
the Detroit area.
Nice.
Everyone's gonna forever know the Johnsons. Deion Johnson was a defensive back at Michigan and won 3 Big Ten championships in the early 1990s. He had a son named Will who also liked football, and he said, quote, "I've always wanted to follow
I love seeing second generation.
That's definitely been a goal of mine. It's led me to where I am today. The best piece of advice he's ever given to me is to just be myself," and that's what he says. Will Johnson's childhood dream was to play football for the University of Michigan and to follow in his dad's footsteps. Playing corner had always been his focus because he had no other choice. His dad eventually returned to the coaching ranks as he was at King High School in 1996 and was an assistant coach there until 2007. But once his kids got old enough, he began working with Will. Eventually, he was seen as sort of a prodigy early on, as he was the best player in his class, and his dad said, quote, "When he was 8 years old, he was playing with the 10-year-olds and he held his own. He likes to work at it, and he's always been trying to do things to make himself better, and it's been hard work and determination and God-given ability." Adding on top of his God-given ability was a significant growth spurt that would happen between his 8th and 9th grade year, which saw him go from 5'7" to 6'1". Going into his freshman year at Grosse Pointe High School, freshmen virtually never see the varsity field there.
That nigga dead-legging like shit.
Was
oh my gosh, yo.
He had so much confidence he was going to be able to fit in with the upperclassmen as he started the season as a starting corner, and by the end of it, he was a two-way starter, and it was due to his size and athleticism and his length. He ended up having 4 interceptions and several pass breakups as a true freshman, which led him to a sophomore year in which he had no interceptions. Johnson's life revolved around football, but he was also an extremely talented basketball player. As a sophomore, Will averaged 14 points and 6 rebounds and showed flashes of brilliance, and when he was engaged, he was the best defender on the floor. His high school coach said, quote, "I truly believe that if Will concentrated as much on basketball as he did football, he'd be a mid-major kid all day long." But because of his devotion to football, he would play in 7-on-7 competitions in the winter, and he also attended competitions in other states, which required him to play 7 or 8 games over a weekend, and he was just sore when he got back and wasn't the same. But it was all worth it, as eventually he blew up into a 5-star recruit. Being ranked amongst the top 10 juniors in the country can overwhelm a high school kid, but he was pleased with his rankings, and every time he walked into the field, he said he wanted to live up to it. Will said, quote, "It's crazy for sure. I think it's motivation to stay up there, and obviously you don't want to drop when you get up there. I ain't gonna lie, he was a dog at receiver. Play good and keep getting better." One moment in particular would show his dominance, as apparently he got a 5-yard out pass that he caught at the 50-yard line. One defender came in and grabbed him at the 45. Then a second came in at the 37, before a third player joined at the 35-yard line. Those 3 combined could not bring him down, and finally, a 4th opposing player came in and knocked everyone down all the way at the 29-yard line. He said he credits the weight room for that one. At 6'2" and 180 pounds, He was also a really good receiver, but it was not his best position, as corner was going to be his
Now,
expertise.
now it makes sense why he has great ball skills, boy. Because he played a receiver. That nigga, bro. I'm telling you right now, I feel like give it a year, he's gonna be a top 5 corner in this league, bro. I promise you that. If he's able to stay healthy, because there's no way he should have fell to the second round, bro. And he gonna make everybody pay. He gonna make everybody
where was
pay
Will Johnson going to go in terms of his recruitment?
which is kind of understandable
well,
with the injury concerns, but
he had no idea
it's
where
Will
he would end up,
Johnson.
but everyone also sort of knew.
That the best corner in the draft
as he
fall
picked
into
the
the
Michigan
second round.
Wolverines over Ohio State and USC, while also reporting offers from Bama, LSU, and Notre Dame, amongst pretty much every other school in the country. As a senior, he was an all-state selection on defense, finishing with 45 tackles, a sack, an interception, and 12 pass breakups. And keep in mind, teams were not throwing the ball his way, and he still managed to do this. On offense, he totaled over 1,300 all-purpose yards, and this included catching 42 passes for 667 yards and 6 touchdowns. Based on his ranking, Johnson would become the 6th highest-ranked player to ever sign with Michigan, at least in the modern recruiting rankings era. According to 24/7 Sports, Johnson was a 5-star recruit, the number 3 corner, and the 15th best player in the class of 2022.
Okay.
So, how'd he end up doing in Ann Arbor? Well, let's take a look. Because of how highly ranked Will Johnson was, there was going to be a lot of hype for him at Michigan, and at the time, first-year Michigan defensive coordinator Jesse Minter said he was going to make a huge impact for the Wolverines, saying, quote, "First impressions of Will are just great, and he's a great kid. He was highly recruited and decorated, and really earned all that by his play and his attributes." So in his freshman year back in 2022, Will Johnson would play in all 13 games for the Wolverines and actually started 4 of Michigan's final 5 games, which were very important. He ended up having 25 tackles, 2 TFLs, 2 pass breakups, and 3 interceptions, and 2 of those came in the Big Ten championship game.
This game, he went
Will
stupid.
Johnson introduction moment.
Yeah, like what, 2 picks this game?
24/7 Sports True Freshman All-American Team. Johnson ended up having an incredible freshman year and set the tone for the rest of his career. During his
I ain't gonna lie, bro, I was heated when he got hurt, bro, because we never got to see him versus Jeremiah Smith. That would have been a all-time classic 1v1, bro.
Better.
Like, that would have been a great
matchup. He ended up starting 12.
Like, bro.
He would miss 3 due to an injury. Johnson only allowed 17 catches on 321 cover snaps and also did not allow a single touchdown. He finished the 2023 season with the second lowest QB rating when targeted in football, and he also had 27 tackles and 4 interceptions. Teams did not throw the ball his way, and when they did, they either weren't very efficient, he knocked it down, or nothing happened. Michigan, on the other hand, finally had things come together, as they had a lot of experience and a lot of talent, with guys like Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, J.J. McCarthy, and of course, a ton of players on the defensive side of the ball. Will Johnson was one of them, and he would end up helping Michigan go all the way to the national championship game. This was something his dad was not able to do, as Will Johnson ended up getting a ring. In their national championship victory over number 2 Washington, he ended up having an interception to go alongside 4 tackles in their 34-13 victory. He ended up saying, quote, "I'll never forget how hard it was to get there. We spent years trying to play in a national championship game, so it felt extra special to finally achieve that goal, and being a part of something like that, it takes a lot of hard work and sacrifice." Some thought that Will Johnson was the best player in the country going into 2024, and I mean, I wouldn't have necessarily gone that far, but he was obviously insanely talented and the best corner in my opinion. Unfortunately, Will Johnson ended up getting hurt early on, and he would miss substantial time due to injury. While he would have an 86-yard pick six against Fresno State, he'd be limited against Texas, and then would only appear in 3 more games the rest of the 2024 college football season, with his next best play coming against number 11 USC, as he had a 42-yard pick six in that one. In total, in just 5 games, Will Johnson had 14 tackles with 2 interceptions and 3 pass deflections. Obviously, a lot of this was not his fault, and Michigan just sort of fell off. Due to everything going on inside the team, having a new coach and losing that many talented players, they're bound to fall off a bit, but they would go out with a bang and beat Ohio State, which was kind of insane. Then they'd also beat Alabama.
I still couldn't get over that. I thought
in total, in
OSU
3 years, Will Johnson ended up appearing in 32 games, and he had 68 total tackles with 19 pass deflections. He also had 9 interceptions and 3 pick sixes. In his 3 years, Will Johnson had an incredible impact and showed that he had an insanely high ceiling for the NFL, which is why many believe that he was going to be a top 10 pick. He decided to declare for the 2025 NFL Draft, but it would end up being a nightmare for him on draft night, as he was expected to go in the first round, if not in the top 10, but unfortunately, that knee injury he had made many NFL teams cautious, as the night would continue on and he was not drafted. Pick by pick, Will Johnson was still not off the board, and as the first night came and went, Will Johnson had an epic stock crash. Him and Shedeur Sanders were the two main guys everyone was talking about, but finally on day 2, with pick number 47 in the second round, the Arizona Cardinals ended up taking a flyer on him, and many believe they got the steal of the draft. So why did Will Johnson fall this far? Well, one executive said, quote, "Part of the issue was his knee was flagged at combine testing, and the results wouldn't come back until mid to late April. That gave some teams some pause and resulted in a slide out of the first round, but still many projected he'd go in the back half of the first round, and that did not happen."
I forgot where I had him going. I think I had him going to
20 hours before day 2. Some of the teams considering Johnson still had questions, and Arizona was fine with the issue, and as a result, he had the team circled as a strong possibility in the start of the second round.
Had him going somewhere
played
like
through
the
that knee
top
injury at Michigan.
Arizona
Just got a first round value in the second round. Regardless, no matter what, he had some of the best metrics for a defensive back in college football, as he finished second in production score and 7th in athleticism score at the combine, and his intangibles are undeniable, plus he's got a great bloodline. He also demonstrated an ability to be a good leader, but no matter what, this was a tough pill for Will Johnson to swallow. He did say though, quote, "I think I've been able to move on. I'm just happy to be here, happy to get to work, and I know it's going to be something special here, and I'm excited for it." Johnson could not be more happy where he's at, as he said the Cardinals system will allow him to use his skill set, and he believes he'll make the same kind of plays in the NFL that he made in college. Johnson said, quote, "The scheme is amazing. Division. It's a corner's dream."
He's gonna have some dogs to go against twice a year. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, JSN, Cooper Kupp. Who else? Who on the 49ers? Brandon Ayuk, if he stays. Yeah, Ricky Pearsall. You know, he got some dogs to go against now. So he better be ready.
To play in it. And I'm excited to get comfortable with it and just learn more about it. I've learned a good amount so far, so I'm just going to continue to learn, get comfortable, and make a lot of plays. For now, we don't really know what's going to happen with Will, as the biggest skepticism around him is going to be his knee, and hopefully he doesn't re-injure that, or we don't get some bad news. But if he's healthy, he could be the steal of this year's draft, and the Cardinals may have gotten a top 5 level talent in the second round. That doesn't happen every day, but for now, he'll be considered one of the biggest boom or bust prospects in this year's draft class, and a rookie I'm going to keep an eye on. But what do you guys think? If you're a Michigan or a Cardinals fan, what do you think of Will Johnson? How do you think he'll do? And what other rookie should I cover?
I'm neither, and I love Will Johnson, bro. I was very high on him. I think at one point I had him going to the Raiders inside the top. What was the top 6? I had him going to the Raiders, bro. You know what I'm saying, for a while. But you know, with the whole thing with his injury, I started pushing him down the board myself. I was never gonna have him outside the first round, because I definitely thought he was going to maybe, you know, a team like the Dolphins, Niners. You know what I'm saying, a team that really needed a corner. But he ended up falling out of the first round, and Cardinals definitely got one of the steals of the draft. You know what I'm saying? We got another one in Mike Green. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Bears got a steal in Luther Burden, because he's definitely going to be, you know what I'm saying, a big threat for them this year. And then we won't know if DJ Moore, bro, if he keep crashing out, you know what I'm saying, because we could tell by the body language that he don't want to be in Chicago, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if he requests a trade, if Chicago don't do good this year, bro, then Luther Burden going to have to step up, be wide receiver 2 for them behind Odunze. But y'all let me know, you know what I'm saying, what other NFL videos I'm to react to, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all enjoyed. Without further ado, I'm out.
I'ma make them feel me, make them people when they show me. And if you don't know me, I'ma make sure that you know me. I hate to say it, but I really think I'm broke. But I know I'm chosen, I really know I'm chosen. I know I'm chosen. I was just lost a year ago, but now I'm focused. When good at sports, this microphone can be my trophy. Not taking drugs, I found a better way of coping.